about boomer Christians, and I just wanted to say that
Oh, man.
I hope this has been refreshing to you, Clint, because I think that's one of the reasons why I want to have this conversation is it feels like, and Will, you can back me up on this if you feel this way too, but it feels like if you're a Christian conservative, and you make a point to let people know that people who are not also Christian conservative, whether that be libertarian or whether that be someone on the left or whatever the case may be, there's still this caricature of the boomer Christian in politics that we are automatically associated with. And I think honestly, the reason why I wanted both of you on is because I know both of your content. You know, I've watched you on a lot of different things, Clint. I've known Will for a while now, and we've had him on the show multiple times. And there's just I feel like there's two worlds that don't often meet when it comes to the online Discord, and that's the goal of this conversation, is to kind of unify some of those, because I think to your point, Clint, you probably were surprised to hear Will say, you know, keep the government taxation under 10% or less.
Yeah.
Most times you just hear the sort of the boomer Christian caricature of invade the world, invite the world, even if they wouldn't word it that way. That's ultimately what happens. If their Fox News spits it out enough, they're going to eventually convince them that we got to go to war because it's this righteous thing, and it's not even just war theory, which is another political idea that Christians should subscribe to.
But
normally the debate
normally the debate is 36 or 32% top tax bracket, and it's like,
right,
I'm the conservative. It's like, dude, you want a third of my money and you're a conservative? Are you out of your mind?
Right.
So but see, the reason I'm not caught off guard is because I converse with a lot of younger conservatives, and this is totally expected for me. I think that the issue is that very rarely do conservatives speak to the modern libertarians. Like, they don't hear from us very often, and I think the other thing is that they don't realize how much you guys have come closer to us. Like I think that's the reason. And I'm not even saying like it's your evolution or anything. I'm just saying, like, the gap has shrunk for whatever reason. I would credit Ron Paul's campaigns with a lot of that it shifted the Overton window in the Conservative Party towards a non-interventionist stance. I think that obviously Trump then took it even closer with this whole America First mantra, and I'm very appreciative of that, for the record, even though he was not entirely America First. I love the fact that he ran on that, and he popularized it, and he made it an acceptable position to hold amongst the broader GOP. It's fantastic progress. I think that the neoconservative movement of the old Republican Guard was disastrous. It absolutely killed you guys. It took you out of power for decades, and rightfully so, because it led the world in a very perilous direction. So I'm very appreciative that, like, that's a dying breed of conservatism, and I hope that it never rears its ugly head, even though Nikki Haley is polling at 10% or whatever, and it's like, obviously it's not dead entirely, but let's pray she doesn't have a real shot at getting back in there.
I don't think she does. I really don't. But they're trying to force her on us, that's for sure. But
sure are, man.
I think ultimately I'm trying to become a student of history, and it really does seem like we're actually just getting back to our roots. Honestly, I would really say that the Bushes are really what took us out of that. Maybe Reagan a little bit, because Reagan was big government more than he should have been, more than he is often credited as being. That's for sure. I agree. He gave us so many policies that I think were very damaging. But we're really getting back to our roots of a lot of what we used to be. And
Ron Paul used to say that all the time.
Yeah,
Ron Paul used to say, like,
Ron Paul.
He's like, I'm the only conservative up
so
here.
Many of these people, they really shifted the narrative. Trump really took a lot of Buchanan's policies and really implemented them. And I'm just now honestly discovering Pat Buchanan. So if he's done some horrid things, I'm just gonna give a disclaimer. But great. From what I can tell, he's got amazing policies as well. And these people have shifted the window that I think we really just need to have more of these conversations, so that liberty-minded individuals can realize, like, we have more allies than we think. We just need to get better at actually picking the right battles and prioritizing. Like let's take care of the nanny state that currently wants to ban incandescent light bulbs. Let's take care of that nanny state first. Did ban them, right? Let's take care of that first. And then if, down the road, when that is a political ash heap, we want to fight about, marijuana legalization, like, let's have that out, decades down the road, when we've actually secured our our most important liberties first, and then we can talk about our recreational liberties and whatever else later. And
I would not describe it as a recreational liberty, but I get your point.
Right. I think you understand where I'm coming from, at least. But so I want to talk.
Let me just make one addendum. There are libertarians that you guys would not like nearly as much as you probably like me. There's libertarians that are like, we got to make sure that the trans community has their poppy fields that are armed, that are guarded by AK-47s.
Yep, I saw that. I don't know if it was the Alabama Libertarian Party,
Louisiana.
But Louisiana Libertarian Party is constantly just blasting that they want the liberty for a drag queen to defend drag queen story hour with a tank or something like that. It's like, is that liberty?
These are not my people, and I don't have any problem with saying that, and they're certainly not your people. I do obviously agree with them on, personal self-defense. You absolutely have that right, but I do not believe that you have the right to, try and indoctrinate kids into some sort of sexual progressive ideology, and I find that to be reprehensible. I don't necessarily want the state involved in cracking down on it, but I certainly think that the parents should have the right to forcibly remove that person from the building. And I think it's crazy that it's happening in public schools. I think it's reprehensible. So that's kind of, but I'm more of a Ron Paul conservative leaning libertarian as it is. So I guess the only point I was trying to make is that, like, there are left leaning libertarians. Right. I don't find them to be really in alignment with many of the fundamental principles of libertarianism. But you can have a much more, like, you can be a much more progressive person in your personal life. Like, you could be a gay dude and, be a libertarian. Like, there's nothing wrong with that either, in my opinion. But they would probably have, with that comes this whole treasure trove of other, beliefs that probably run afoul of what I would see in the world. So,
yeah.
So I'm saying it would be harder for you guys to compromise with those people. That's what I'm trying to say.
For sure, but you've built a good sized audience, so that's ultimately my perspective is. I immediately think, okay, Clint's built a great audience, and when I hear him talk, I agree with most of what he says. So why can't we, get together, hold hands, and do what we can where we can? But go ahead.